It's your boys back at it again.
You got a timer, bro?
Bro, timer's running.
All right.
Wakey, wakey.
What's up, y'all?
Good morning, Kings.
Good morning. What time is it? 10:40.
Yeah.
This morning.
Rise and shine.
Good morning. This is the All or Nothing Show. Name's Austin. I don't know what I am. I'm just here. Apparently,
no, the dude.
The dude. I am the dude.
Yeah.
You got the guy over here, Brock, and got Griffin.
Yep.
Griff Dog.
The nothing.
The nothing. Oh, he's something. Ladies, by the way, hit those DMs.
On the market.
Give him something nice.
In
But,
for a while.
yeah, it's Monday. We're getting after it. Well, not really. Actually, I've had a rough morning.
I'm getting after it.
Brock's getting after it.
Yeah, Austin just woke up from a car nap.
Yeah.
I did. So I came in.
You've been fucked up the past week. I was telling Griffin, it's like once a month you have a few day period to where you're just like whacked. Like
Cycle.
you're running at 10% battery.
I do go on a cycle.
Yeah.
Well,
Something like that.
no, but yeah, woke up, came in, trained my client. And the thing is, I got out of bed and I was like, I felt off, but not bad. It wasn't until like an hour in, once I got here, I was like, damn, I feel like shit.
This place just strains the life out of you, dude.
Yeah, but after I had my morning client, fortunate, had both my clients right after that cancel.
Oh, man.
They felt like shit too,
Nice.
which
Kathy
is kind of
and Ryan,
coincidence.
I guess,
Yeah,
yeah.
Kathy and Ryan. And I was like, well, shit, I'm going to hit that car, boy.
Yeah.
So I laid that seat on back.
Well, at first you had the bubble wrap pillow in the back of the HQ. I was
Yeah.
filling up
That's
getting water.
actually
and I'm like,
a
he's
new
out.
Gymflo promo. If you
Yeah,
order
sample
a few
product.
tubs,
Prototype.
you
Yeah.
get the bubble pillow.
It's the new pillow.
Yeah.
It's our pillow.
Yeah,
It's not my
instead of
pillow.
my pillow. It's the you pillow.
Yeah.
But y'all ever do this when you take a nap? Well, I know you say you don't
I
nap.
don't take naps.
But when you nap,
Yeah.
especially if it's not in your bed, if it's on the couch or on the floor or in the car, do you ever just like randomly jerk?
Yeah.
Like if you're not in
absolutely.
bed? I do it in the couch all the time. I fling my arms a lot. Like,
Yeah,
I'll
I
wake
do
up randomly.
Or
I mean,
a
I'll-
lot of
I know what
times-
you're talking about. If like I would doze off in class and like you kind of jolt. I don't swing my arms, but
I swing.
yeah.
It kicked in the car this morning. I kicked the shit out of the gas pedal.
Yeah.
Kicked the shit out of it. And I
I've
sat
done
up.
that
That's
before, too.
what's well. After I heard y'all's messages, I like went back to sleep for a few seconds and kicked the gas pedal. I was like, "Fuck, let me get up."
Yeah. The carbon monoxide. That was like your
Yeah.
body's
Scared about
response to it.
Because
Yeah.
my car's a little older, and I was like, let me not sit here and leave this thing running. And I locked the doors so you wouldn't fuck with me.
Oh,
I did lock the doors.
He
'Cause I
thought
was
you
like,
were gone.
Oh no, I was out there. I hit the door lock.
I thought
so
you went to the sheets to get some coffee.
I wish.
You
I
didn't
still
have
need
any
some.
this morning.
No, zero. I woke up late.
Dang. You picked one of the lowest caffeinated drinks
I did.
out there.
Well, I bought it yesterday for my Uber Eats, which I ate a dick on yesterday.
Oh man.
I spent $8 on drinks. And only
Maddie
made-
said she tried Uber Eats as well, and it was nobody. Because I mean Easter, but
Well, I had 6 or 7 orders, but I only made $41 in 2.5 hours.
What were
it's still like 18 hours, something like that. It
But
could be better.
I'm
but-
used to doing like 100, 120.
When you're a
Yeah.
CEO,
In 2 hours.
you
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
settle.
I got a lifestyle to live.
Yeah.
Yeah. 18, they
Yeah.
can keep that shit. I'm just
I
kidding.
know.
But I didn't have shit else to do, so I did that, and then I meal prepped last night a little bit. But I don't plan on eating that food today because I don't feel like eating besides that sugar cookie I just ate.
Yeah.
Dang.
But what's good with y'all?
Party in the gym was good.
Yeah, party in the gym.
Good, really good event.
turnout.
Another great one. We ended up raising $140 for the Fisher House Foundation, which is really cool. And it's actually funny because we didn't know this, but Maddie's brother, who had prostate cancer, and while he was in the Army, was discharged because of that. This was like 4 years ago. But her family actually benefited and utilized like the Fisher House Foundation in the past. So it was actually kind of cool. But anyway, so great to do that. The event was great. Thank you to, obviously, Gymflo and Naughty and Nice for having great tables and treats and things like that. Thank you for everyone for showing up. It's always a good time to see some new faces, familiar faces, and all that. And I got so much feedback from, one thing we did last week was get those machines, Austin. The day after the podcast, we went and got those machines.
Yeah.
And I've already had multiple people, like 5 to 7, already tell me that they like love the chest press, the Nautilus Nitro chest press. And even the seated leg curl, I've had like 2 or 3 people tell me like how much they love it. And I've never had that on like other machines. I mean, here or there, but not like so immediately.
So, those machines, I did not have positive thoughts going into either of them.
Not good
But-
vibes.
I will say the hamstring curl, you can't go as heavy as you'd like, but that's not the point. You do get a crazy contraction in those hamstrings. If you like.
That last 50%.
If you squeeze that shit heels to butt.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
I was telling Brock that the other day. Like, I got a good contraction and then realized I still have distance to go, basically, further back.
And then I'm telling you, I hit the chest press. I don't know if it was just that or if I did like some crazy dumbbell work, but I did the inner chest, like 4 or 5 sets because I was just feeling good.
Yeah.
And my chest is still sore from Saturday. Like,
no,
I can't even touch it.
The way it converges is really nice.
Yeah, like it feels like your fingers like are locking
I like
together.
using it after I've already gotten a pump because I feel like I can go lighter and utilize it better.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't start with it. Or
It was my third exercise.
Yeah, that's a good spot to put it. But I played around with the inside and wide grip because I remember I don't know who I pulled this from, but I used to do like a burnout to where, let's say it's my last set, I'm using the inner grip, you use the outer grip, and then as you fail, you switch to the inner grip. You can pump out a few extra because your triceps can push a little harder too with your chest, and so it's a good kind of like, not really drop set in that sense, but a way to kind of do some forced reps at the end,
Yeah. I forgot that we had it yesterday because I subbed out a machine for bench, but I was like, what machine should I do? Yeah, I forgot it was there.
You need to put balloons on it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we had so many people, like the days after we got it, they're like, oh, where's the hip thrust? And I'm like, oh, it's back there. They're like, huh. And I'm like,
is it broken?
Did you not see? Yeah, someone asked if it was broken. I was like, no, we just got 2 new machines. You walk right past them.
Yeah.
But they kind of blend in.
It's dark. It's gray.
Austin actually found a new use for the hip thrust, though. You put your feet on the wall after you finish.
It's called the lazy boy.
Yeah, it's like a Matrix walk almost.
Where you let
I
your
like
legs
that.
elevate
More
your
range
heart.
of motion.
Yeah, it's almost like an inversion table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a hamstring stretch / rest. It's very good.
Good superset.
Yeah, but no, I really enjoyed the chest press, man. Good stretch on it. I liked it, and
we did go through hell getting it. We had to mask up. So
That's your better judge.
yeah.
And I don't even want to go into that, but we definitely had a hell of a time getting those machines out.
Yeah.
What we got
I'll
done.
tell a brief story.
Yeah.
So first off, we when I went there, it's a bigger like, I won't like name the building, but it's a bigger like sports facility, and so I went to check out the machines before I wanted to pay them. And so I knew like I'd probably have to put on a mask, no big deal, I'll follow your rules, whatever. And went in, tried them out. There's obviously no one around me, whatever. Tried out the machines. It's like cool. So then I paid for them. We picked them up like the next day. And so riding there with the help of Morgan, thank you very much for helping us.
Yeah.
We didn't really think about, we need a mask. Like, we're literally just running in, grabbing the machine and leaving. Like, we're not around anyone.
Yeah.
It's not like super busy at this building. And so I was like, okay. So then I start to walk in. I'm like, hey, I'm here to like grab the buildings. And immediately this dude's like,
Can't come in.
In an arrogant tone, like, you can't come in. Stop. You need a mask. And I was like, hey, I'm just picking up a machine. He's like, doesn't matter. Need a mask. Gotta have one. And I'm like,
We were like infected.
and I was like, we're just going to be like in and out. He's like, doesn't matter. Gotta get a mask. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, do you have one? He's like, we have them for $1. And I'm like, oh my God.
And as soon as I heard that, I was like, yo, come on, you
Take the
chump.
dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
But I was telling my client about this, and she nailed it too. And I've known this, but it's like people just love having this like sense of power over you.
They do.
And that's what this mask stuff is like, I know you have to do this because of like law, and so I'm just going to enforce this on you and just police you because I have that power over you.
You're in my house now.
Yeah, you're in my house now. So we did luckily have 2 masks in the car or the truck. So threw those on. Me and Austin went in, and as far as getting the machines out, it was easier than I thought because the dolly we kind of borrowed, we could get them on like relatively easily than I thought it was going to be.
Nice and big.
But working around some of these door frames, it was like the most snug fit. And specifically this one had this kind of like, it was a double door, so width-wise we could get it through, but there was this kind of like a sensor or what do you call it?
It's like an emergency
Like
door.
emergency door,
so
yeah,
there's like
emergency.
a sensor to know if the door's open.
Yeah, emergency sensor that was hanging a little bit lower than the door frame. So that extra like 3 inches was like preventing the machine from fitting through.
Yeah.
So we had to maneuver it, like push, pray for the best, like tilt,
Yeah.
like all. We just had to get it past there, and we luckily did without like breaking the door frame. And then once it was there, it was smooth sailing, and got the machines over. Honestly, kind of quickly and easily off the truck or off the trailer, and yeah, every machine always has a story, but yeah,
some
well,
doors
quick turnaround.
and shit. Ate some shit. Actually.
Yeah.
They should have banged up the facility.
Probably should.
Well, we left our mark.
Yeah.
But so I know that y'all didn't get many questions. Maybe you did.
Forgot to post.
Yeah, it's all good.
I did write some topics.
I got a few.
I wrote 2 topics.
Topics.
Put some topics up.
Oh.
Yeah,
two
you didn't know
topics.
about that for somebody that's carrying the podcast.
What is the second word?
Well, you'll
Nietzsche.
figure that out.
Do you want me to start off?
Yeah. Go ahead and let me know. What the fuck is that?
So Griffin sent me a really good quote that he knows I've been listening to these lectures, reading a little bit of German philosopher Nietzsche, and he sent me a really good screenshot.
Under links.
It's under a link?
Yeah, I sent you
All right.
a Twitter.
Oh, that's right. It was a Twitter thing. So
You can
anyway,
still see that
here
in
it
the
is.
details. Oh.
Yeah. But he sent me a really good quote that someone posted on Twitter from it.
About glutes?
Jesus Christ, I can't talk. No, but I'll read this little passage and I'll kind of talk about what I thought about it. So it says, one must possess something in order to be something, but this is the oldest and healthiest of all instincts. I should add, one must want to have more than one has in order to become more. For this is the doctrine preached by life itself to all that has life, the morality of development. It goes on a little bit, but what I really got out of that is something that we've preached just in different contexts or different words, is that if you want to be better, you have to want more in your life. You can't just be at point A in your career and your life and your relationship and just think, oh, over time, this will just naturally become better. It'll just happen. Things will just happen. It's like you have to actually want to be more, want to be better, want to have more money, want to be stronger, and take action to achieve these things. It sounds like a no-brainer, but I think to constantly make progress forward, you just can't be stagnant and complacent. And it kind of goes back to something I threw up on my story a little bit ago that was like, I think Lane Norton posted it, and it was like, fat acceptance isn't good, shaming isn't good, but don't hate on people that track their food. It's not always an eating disorder, or people that want to look better and don't like how their body looks now. There's nothing wrong with that either. It's okay to want to look better. It's not always a body dysmorphia or something that's wrong. It's just wanting to improve. It's necessary, as Nietzsche kind of stated, for growth and development. It's part of life. Is to become more is to want more, and vice versa. It just has to kind of feed in that cycle.
I like that.
Yeah,
really do. Just put it on the wall.
On the wall.
Or get a tattoo, which I saw as a topic up there.
Damn, lead right into it.
Yeah.
Dang, that
So-
was a
Smooth transition.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Transition.
Well,
into the
when you're
next
the conductor of the podcast.
Well, I mean, like you said, we've talked a bunch about it. I mean, we could split it 9 more ways of how it could relate to stuff, but you gotta want to get up and do something with yourself.
Yeah, it sounds like such a no-brainer, but there's so many people that just sit on their hands, whether it's, oh, I want to start that business, or, oh, I want to do that, but, I plan on opening a gym, later in my 20s or my 30s, I might do it.
I get that.
And it's always you have to take action. And it sounds such a no-brainer, but, I mean, it's, I feel like everyone just needs to get it, even myself included, hammered in their head. It's you want to lose weight, you have to diet.
Yeah.
You want to do this, you have to do this. It's it's just that simple. But as far as tattoos, so I did have a consult last Monday, had a more concrete idea on a tattoo. I got this piece done January 2018, so it's actually been 3 years, and time's flown by. And as soon as, you can probably talk more on this, but I feel like everybody, once you get a tattoo, you kind of have a little bit of an itch for another one. But I knew that I don't want to rush it, and I was I want to have more of a concrete idea. So had a little bit more of one somewhat recently that I've been kind of thinking about, or I don't know, trying to think of ideas and such recently. And so connected with my tattoo artist that did this one, and got
he said no.
Yeah, he said no. So
Show
I got
to the camera.
Yeah, so it's a little line transitions into roots.
It's pretty dope.
On the forearm and hand. And so this next one, I won't say what it's going to be, but it's going to be the same kind of idea to where it's on that forearm leading onto the hand and fingers. Because that's probably my favorite part of this one, is just how the roots look on my hand and fingers, especially when I'm grabbing dumbbells and the barbell and things like that. I just love it. It just looks kind of badass to me, and liked it. So getting another tattoo. It's scheduled for July 20th was the earliest date, so way out. But I'm looking forward to that, and which led me into questions about when was the last tattoo that you got, Austin, and do you have plans for future ones? Because I know you haven't gotten one since I've known you, really.
Probably right before I knew you. I got one maybe 2-3 years ago. I'm trying to think, maybe 2018. It's probably a little bit after that, but it's on my forearm. It's not, it's more of like a sibling thing between me and my brothers and sisters. But and that was not forced. Not that I didn't want to do it, but I was like, I wouldn't have done it if they wouldn't have brought the idea up. And I was like, well, shit, if it's like got some sibling meaning to it, I'll do it. Because the first one I got when I was 20, and it's on my side and my ribs. And
a lot of people get the ribs and like the quotes on the ribs.
Yeah,
the Chinese symbols.
Dream catcher.
Yeah, I should get that attached, dangling from the bottom. But after I got that one, I told myself I probably wouldn't get one again because two things. First one,
hurt on the ribs.
It was definitely it kept me awake.
Yeah.
And then second, well, two things is first thing was there's a space, like an extra space added in between the apostrophe and one of the letters, so it looks kind of messed up now that I look back at it. And I'm like, man, I got to think things through a little bit better when I go to get a tattoo done.
I'm sure there's a lot of pressure though when you're right about to get it.
Well, yeah,
that you don't
when he
notice.
lined it up, when I was looking in the mirror, I was like, damn, that looks good. But like once I actually stop and look at it, it's like he double spaced it.
This is kind of fucked up.
Yeah, he definitely hit the double space. Might have been drinking on the job. Yeah, but and second thing is agreeing with like I want it to have some meaning, not just be like a lot of Richmond tattoos where it's just like sporadic spiderweb, monkey, flower, sunshine, like just like
tribal.
What's the meaning? It's just look cool. Yeah, it was cool, and I don't know. I definitely think I'd probably get one, but I definitely want to have some meaning behind it. Maybe something that reminds me of something.
Don't you have a date or time or numbers or something on you? No. Because what do you have? The
So
don't
my
you have
forearm,
two on an arm? You have a forearm. It's like this,
like an arrow.
Arrow
with Roman numerals.
That's what I'm thinking.
The
of.
3 out of 5.
Oh, that's what it means.
Yeah, there's 5 of us, and I'm number 3.
I was wondering if that had something to do with your accident. It was on like March 5th or something like that. Okay.
But I do want to get one, probably not related to my accident because that was my ribs right there. But I almost want it on my hands, but not the outside. I think I want it
on the
inside. Yeah. And I know it won't last long, but I think it would be cool.
What would it
I don't know if it'll fade
to?
overly fast.
Yeah.
It's just hard to recover, I think, with that.
Yeah, because I doubt I'd be able to like go and do barbell rows right
You
after.
have to do it on the left hand in case you need the right.
Some
Keith
mittens.
mode.
But I don't know. I might think it out. And fortunately, like small stuff like that isn't expensive. Like $60, $40, $60. You can get some stuff done. Like this one was like 60 or 70, so it wasn't like crazy expensive. The one on my side was like 80, so it wasn't. All of them were pretty cheap.
You'd cry if you saw mine.
Oh yeah, I assumed it was a couple hundred, probably close to 1,000.
Oh, it's over.
Oh,
yeah.
I ain't got that kind of money.
If you include tip, I think it was like $1,300.
Yeah, you know how much product that could be.
Yeah, this next one will probably be like $1,300 to $1,600.
So everybody knows where the calf machine's going.
Yeah,
on his forearm.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
what are you thinking? Comic Sans?
Yeah,
Times New Roman.
Arial.
Yeah.
And one question I wanted to ask, and
Impact.
he held it for the show, is Griffin, would you ever get a tattoo? And if yes, do you have an idea, or what would you think you would get? Maybe
Buddha.
Yeah, on the shoulder.
It's interesting because when I was young, I really wanted a tattoo, and I actually wanted a barbed wire armband.
Oh, that would have been so bad.
Because I just thought it was tough.
How tough am I?
Yeah. And then after that, I wanted wrist tattoos of, I can't remember exactly. Maybe like, I think it was like a silhouette of a bear with like a mountain range on the inside. And then on the other side, I forget, some sort of word or something. And then I was like, okay, no, I don't want that. Like, that's kind of cheesy. And I wouldn't want to look at that the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And then after I started lifting, I always liked like the Ziz or like the Rock kind of sleeve that goes up to your shoulder. So I was like, maybe I'll get that on my right arm because I'm left-handed. And I was like, well, I don't really know what I would get. And there's this one guy on Instagram. I think his name is like Maiseu, Maiseu. His name's Anton Antipov is his real name. But he's got a kind of a cool sleeve that it's almost like a fractal, Maiseu.
Are you left-handed?
Mai. Yes, I'm
That's why
left-handed.
you're so weird.
SEU. And I think that he's got a cool sleeve. But the more I think about it, the more I'm just like, you don't put a bumper sticker on a Ferrari.
That's pretty cool.
So I just don't really think I want a tattoo. I don't have anything that...
Ferrari.
Yeah.
Got that Ferrari, dog.
So I just don't really want to... I don't have anything that I'm like, man, like, that's me. I want to just brand this on myself.
Which I think is the right way to go about it. Because like you said, it seems like ideas in the past have been very fleeting.
Yeah, and the thing too is like, maybe if something means enough to me, I'll keep it as a password for like an app.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of
Fuck you,
times
Buddha.
I'm like, damn, I can't imagine if I got a barbed wire armband. Like I can't imagine if I got like the word like love on my wrist or something like that. Like I don't know. I just feel like I am so different. I feel like than the person I was 5 years ago or like 10 years ago or something like that. So I just can't imagine like, oh, if I got something right now, maybe it might be cool to look back on, but I'd probably regret it. And it's taking up real estate for the next one then.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I go back and forth sometimes, but at the moment, no, that could change. But I don't know. Maybe
some cover-up
wedding
work
ring,
is
that's what
crazy
I'm
now that
thinking.
you mentioned like taking up real estate. Like I'll show you, guys, my tattoo artist, what he did with this hand is
it's
ended
always
up-
crazy too to see an actual
yeah,
quality
so like, that's
one
kind of what it ended up being, and
versus
Damn,
like
son.
your friend that does tattoos or something that
yeah,
can give you a good deal.
Yeah, well, and Richmond is just, I mean, you can get your $50 tattoo, or there's so many different like high quality shops that are like 180, 200, $220 an hour. That you're getting like a masterpiece.
I'm always surprised though.
I mean, something like that, I would expect to probably spend some money on.
Yeah.
But the shit that
Well, it
I
depends
have,
what you want too. Like I wouldn't go to someone paying $200 an hour for that.
Yeah.
I'm always surprised though at the people that like get a tattoo because they go to a tattoo festival and they're just like, oh, somebody was available. And it's like $20.
They're
and
giving
it's
them out
like,
for free. You get a free drink.
yeah.
You
get a
just pick
tattoo.
something from like the sticker book,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that I've talked to. Even like I think one of my clients, like she just got it because she went on like a trip to this place and was like, oh, I'll get a tattoo at this place, and it's
A
just
whole lot
on,
of
like,
fresh needles. So
Yeah.
you got to use them.
It's on a whim.
There used to be this girl I worked with too, and she had one that was a hand. It was like two hands basically that had a 3 and a 4. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, like, what is the meaning of that? She was like, oh, well, as long as you had something to do with the number 7, they'd give you a tattoo for $7. And so it's just hands making, the number 7. And so I'm just like, I can't imagine
That's the most
like
idiot thing.
branding yourself, with that. Just
Unless
for,
it's on my butt cheek or something.
I feel like if I got one, I'd get the lip tattoo.
So I know a guy. It's actually Kathy's son.
Oh,
She's probably gonna be proud of him as I mention it. But when I first met him, he worked for us. He was an intern at Compel with us, and we were talking about tattoos. He's like, "Yeah, I got one." I was like, "Where?" He's like, pulls it down, "Daddy." On the
No.
yeah, it said "Daddy." I was like, "Yo, that's
Oh my
boss."
God.
I used to train this girl who
Daddy.
had a tramp stamp that was like handwritten from like someone in like a party basement, but
Yeah.
hand tattooed, and it said "booty" as the
Nice.
tramp stamp.
I
So
like that.
it was like kind of scrawly. I think he might have been drinking too.
Some people just
but-
got like the worst shit.
Yeah, I just wonder, like, I wonder what that kind of phase of life must have been like.
Yeah,
But
you go
No.
through weird times.
yeah,
I'm sure.
that's true.
And
I
if
always
it's
figure,
available.
like, my uncles had their ears pierced, and my cousins used to want me to get them when I was younger. But I always feel like, at least if I did that, like, it kind of closes up. Or
I heard
something
you
if
had an ear
regret it.
pierce, the gay ear.
No,
Yeah.
left is not. Dude.
Was that a
Right
decadence?
I don't know. I don't think it matters.
I'm sure I could still shove something through it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I might
You know what I
do.
never
If
thought
people
was
buy
cool?
a certain amount of product,
Oh,
wear
yeah.
ear piercing it.
Rear pierce it here.
I never thought the gauges were cool. I always thought they were gross and weird, and then when the gauge is out, it's just like hanging.
Stretched out.
Yeah, and you have
Like
to
a
get
nutsack.
surgery on them too.
Yeah.
And it's also like it's kind of a shock factor, but I just wonder like they always have a smell to them too.
Yeah.
It was
they
like a
do.
Skrillex phase thing too. Like that whole like kind of time period, I feel like was kind of
Yeah.
like weird.
But imagine if you got a lip ring, gauged it, straw holder.
Nice.
You know what? One of my personal training clients had a tongue ring, and like sometimes she would like have it like in between her teeth, like just like
Oh,
hanging
yeah.
out, and I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like they would just cause more problems than it's worth.
I feel like that'd be I mean, who am I? But having that needle shoved through your tongue.
Yeah. Ooh. Anything about needles, I feel like just
Yeah.
freaks me
But
out.
it has to be a pretty big one to go through your tongue.
Yeah. I never understood the lip ring from here. That just looks like a big mole. Yeah.
I really only feel like earrings, like, I mean, it can be up, it can be down, whatever. Or, like, you know, a stud on some girls is cute. Besides that, it's like,
Jake had his eyebrow pierced.
really?
No way.
Oh, my God. I feel like he's had some phases.
Yeah, I'm curious to see some phases
Yeah,
of Jake.
his
I
eyebrow
went back on his profile once when doing that Tune Me
Yeah.
app, and I saw some interesting pictures.
Both y'all look weird as shit without a beard. Like, it's like, you know, it's like different people.
Oh, it
Like,
is.
just don't even,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Sarah
It's part of
said she
you.
never wanted the beard, but now I can't take it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Any
I
other
would
topics?
like to see like a Hulk Hogan stash from you.
Jake did that too. If you look back far enough, like probably 7-8 years ago, he had the.
That's funny.
Well, have y'all seen Gannon's?
Yes,
Gannon's
it's
got-
just like
It's
that.
He
grown
rocks
out pretty
it, too.
well.
I feel like it fits him.
Oh yeah, no, it does.
Yeah.
He's
And
got
he
that
had
look.
like the Oakleys at this wedding too, and I was like, he's got it.
Yeah, that's
He
Hulk.
needs a bush light.
Yeah.
Just like chugging it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Didn't you have something about also on the board, or is that connected to the Nietzsche?
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about this and just kind of curious about y'all's thoughts. I was listening to this thing, and this guy who will remain nameless for reasons non-related to the show, but he was basically saying, you know, if things were hanging on a thread or to do with COVID or just related to the country in general, like if things wound up collapsing, you know, how many people could provide their own food? How many people could, you know, fix their own clothes or like take care of themselves or other things like that? And I was just thinking back to unrelated necessarily to like doomsday related stuff, but growing up, my dad is a contractor. So like usually if we would just do projects around the house, we would just do it ourselves. So it would take a couple weekends, but you know, you save money and you learn and figure stuff out. And my first car was kind of an older, like 2002 Toyota or something. So it's like nothing you really care too much about. And so I learned how to like change my own oil or other things like that just from watching YouTube videos. And you mess up, but you know, at the end of the day, you figure it out eventually, and then you learn from those mistakes and stuff like that. So it always surprises me. Like, for example, a couple years ago, I trained this guy, and he was redoing his back deck. And he was like, oh, it's, you know, I'm going to have to take out a loan for it, for the construction company to do it, and this and that. And it just kind of floored me a little bit because he was using the same material and kind of doing the same stuff that we had done growing up. And I was like, dang, that took like 2-3 weekends basically. That it's crazy to think that that might be like 15 grand or something like that at the end of the day. So it just made me think about, you know, I have a friend whose dad, he's pretty well off and stuff, but he still like will just tear into his house and just look up a YouTube video from like Bubba that's sitting on like a kitchen chair, and he's like, you know, if they can do it, so can I, sort of thing. So it's just funny to just see that. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of cool no matter what walk of life. Like, I just really like when people can figure stuff out on their own or like kind of take the risk of making the mistake or other things like that. Because then once you do it the first time, you know after that. So I was just curious, like, y'all's thoughts about that kind of stuff in general. Because we did that in our own way for the gym too.
Yeah.
So.
But it comes to a point to where it's like, you know, do you have the time to do it? Yes. Okay. You can try and save money, do it yourself. Don't have the time to do it, you could go make money doing something else, pay somebody to do it, then, you know.
Yeah, I think what makes human society so great is like different people can specialize in different things. So like you can't be an auto mechanic, a contractor, and all these things in one. However, like you said, you can develop these like different skills so that you can do a lot of things on your own. At least like learn as much as you can, be as multifaceted as you can. Not only to like save time and money, but just, to be a well-rounded individual for, like you said, not like a doomsday scenario, but, if push came to shove and, you needed to do X, Y, Z on your own, fix a leak on your roof or this or that.
Yeah.
But
because that's something I've been thinking about since I have finished school, is I feel like it would be fun to at least learn like basic electrical work, basic like construction, basic like auto mechanic or plumbing or other stuff like that. Just because I feel like for any sort of upkeep or maintenance or other stuff like that, it's pretty expensive to have somebody out there and stuff like that. So it's definitely something that I feel like, even with my dad or other people like that helping me out, like just learning how to run an outlet to another spot in the room or other things, you don't forget that stuff. So it's something I feel like that it's a valuable skill that you can use in so many different ways, like depending on where you live or other things too, that I just feel like, oh man, I almost feel like that stuff is the stuff that really matters. Like, what did I waste my college degree on? Just training?
For sure.
Is that it?
Learn a trade?
Yeah,
for sure.
That's true.
I mean, in reality, you're paying somebody for a service they took their time to learn or experience. So, like, it's either you take the time and invest the time and money to learn it yourself, or you just pay for somebody that took their time.
But that's the thing, too, for a lot of people to, like, do is, that they forget is, like, some trades, like, and we touched on it a little bit months ago, like, on podcasts, but time is money, and some people's time is worth way more.
Yeah.
And so, like, certain trades, I mean, like a doctor walks in for 15 minutes to, like, talk to you, make sure you're good, leaves, they're getting paid, like, an absorbent amount of money. I mean, a lot of it's, like, the paperwork on the back end, but it's because they spent, 12 whatever years and all this time and residency and work, developing the skills. Now they're getting paid for it. Same deal as a, photographer. Not everyone can take the photos that you can, so you're getting paid for that expertise and that ability. So... that's the thing like with services.
With a lot of stuff too, though, like I've in the past, I like learning how to build a computer or like figuring out like, we've talked about this before, but, editing work or like figuring out software stuff as a kid. And so for me, I feel like I always, if I'm interested in something or like need something done, I just like to figure out how to do it. Because I don't like to feel like I have to always take something to someone or call someone. And a lot of that just comes from not wanting to bother somebody too. But I also just feel like, on the other hand, how do I know sometimes that somebody else isn't just trying to nickel and dime me or something? Like, how do I know somebody has my best interests at heart or something like that too? Because, I don't know, do you ever go take your car in and they find like 5 other things that need attention basically on it? And then next thing you know, you're paying hundreds of dollars?
I haven't, no.
Oh.
But I don't think I have, but I know it happens, and it's one of those things that it's like you kind of just gotta, I don't know, it's tough because you could be the ignorant bastard, but then at the same time you gotta just trust that some people and some businesses have good faith,
True.
And so you gotta trust that Gymflo isn't underdosing and just lying to you, or that, I don't know, whatever business isn't selling you rotten like bread when you get your sub or whatever. So I don't know. At some point you got to trust that, but it is tricky with things that you have zero knowledge about.
Yeah.
They could be doing that to you, or like contracting work. Like when we got a quote to do things in here, it was an insane amount, and I was like, I mean, how much of that is like overblown, And we ended up doing basically everything by ourselves. So, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You said you had some questions.
I do. All right, let me dive in. Let's see.
And as always, we typically post the question box on Sunday evenings on all of our social media, but definitely Austin's. So definitely drop us some questions in the future.
All right, knock out some of the quick ones. Dijon or Dijon?
So Maddie's been giving me shit for this, but I think it's Dijon.
Dijon. If I say it quickly, if I don't think about it, Dijon.
I say, hey, can I get that Dijon mustard?
I don't say Dijon.
I say Dijon.
Yeah, they say D.
Dijon.
Versus let me get that Dijon.
I say duh.
Dijon. Dijon.
I don't say.
It's not that fancy.
It's like a crappy I to me, like a Dijon.
But I feel like I say a lot of things. Like we were talking about that the other day. Crown or crayon?
That one's more.
Crown.
That one's more like wrong or right.
I say
It's
crown
crayon.
like a king's
It's
crown.
Yeah.
It can't be crown.
Give me that crown.
You look at the like words.
Crayon.
It's
Yeah,
not even
it's
like
crown.
there's no like. You look at the way it's
yeah,
spelled.
but
There's no way to
it's
come up
spelled
with
a certain
crown.
way, but it's pronounced a different way.
No.
What
it's
about
crayon? What's the other one?
library or library?
Yeah, they say library.
Library.
It's library.
Library is
Or
much easier.
February.
Yeah, you don't say February.
Yeah, but that's different.
You don't say
okay.
Wednesday either.
Yeah.
And you don't say crayon. You say crown.
No, you do say crown.
This is America.
Let
We
us know what
speak
you say in the
English.
comments below.
Yeah.
So
or what about coupon?
coupon?
It ain't a
Coupon?
coupon.
Yeah.
Coupon.
Coupon.
I say coupon, so like almost a Q.
No.
Coupon.
Coupon.
You say, hey, got any coupons?
It's a
coupons?
coupon.
Coupons?
Yeah, coupons.
There's no Q in coupon.
Yeah, but
Coupon.
coupon sounds dumb. Coupon rolls off the tongue much better.
Q.
Yeah.
So this was a question towards what I took yesterday. So how was the cherry lime? So I took
Yeah, you
one
never
scoop.
posted about
I
that.
totally forgot. I got into the workout.
Whoa, you forgot.
I
to
got so
post on your story.
focused and amped up for my pre-workout stack that I was like, "Fuck, I'm in the zone." I didn't even care. I was rolling.
Man.
But cherry lime was good. I will say the lime overpowers the cherry more so than the other way. So you're more so getting a lime cherry.
I was inspired to do that, and I came in here, and there was no lime actually. So
You got to know the secret password to get that
Yeah.
one.
So I opened a tub though.
I
That's good.
bet Jake's got some. You know, Jake.
Yeah,
keeps,
Jake's
probably
got
has 3 tubs
one of each.
Overcome.
Yeah. Oh, maybe. But another one is, what's the next dope shirt design for either IB or Gymflo gonna be?
We're working on it.
Working on it. I would like to do a tank top for sure. We'll see.
We're definitely doing shirts and tanks.
I can't do both.
Probably
but-
not a ton of tanks,
Yeah.
but I really don't even want to do tanks. We have had a lot of people ask though, and then Maddie just harps on it. Well, the people want this, so you got to give them what they want.
And
But I'm like,
you-
but the people aren't placing the fat order.
No.
You know, they're just buying one, which I
And
appreciate.
A
But,
lot of people say they want something and then
and
don't
then once
buy
they
it.
get it, they don't buy it. Exactly. Like it's nice to say you want something.
Yeah.
Then when you actually have to pay for it,
Been there, done that.
yeah.
But T-shirts are pretty safe, though. You can cut it into a tank top.
That's
You can
what
cut
I'm
it into
saying.
a crop top.
We've had
You
people
do the
cut it
work.
into a cutoff. That's
Yeah.
fine.
And then you get to cut it however you want it tailored.
That's true. Yeah, that's
Whatever
And
you're
bro,
fit.
It's a little
don't
too
know.
late.
I wanna
now
say
for
who
a
wears
crew neck
tanks, but-
sweatshirt, but that was my
Yeah,
request.
I've got one.
Yeah.
I just I forget to wear it. This one's a little bit longer of a question, but what made you want to start a supplement company? I guess I can quickly start from day one, which was I came home from work one day. Work was slowing down, so I was making less money. And then also I was shopping at GNC, which they are very high with supplements. And I got to a point where I was like, you know what? Screw that. I want to start making my own products because pre-workouts were $60, $70 back then, especially if you're buying Muscle Tech or even like the C4 back then or Jacked was even sometimes like $60, $70. And I was like, I want to make my own shit and make what I want that's in it at least. Back then, I didn't know a lot about supplements, so I thought I knew what I wanted in it, but it was still not a great product. But I went ahead and made it. And
What was the original formula?
had 4 ingredients, arginine, creatine, caffeine, and
DMHA.
yeah, I don't remember what the 4th one was, but it wasn't. I mean, it was a pre-workout. It'll get you a little bump, but it wasn't dosed to the way it should with most of the ingredients. And some of the ingredients I had in there were like kind of worthless. Looking back on it, knowing what I know now, because I was literally just jumping into it. But after a few months, we gave it to a few people. People were like, "Hey, if you made this, I'd buy it from you." So Jake and I placed an order, got a few tubs made. And next thing you know, we started selling it throughout a couple Gold's gyms. And obviously, over time, with anything, you start to evolve and learn more and learn what to do, what not to do. And we started creating badass products that were efficaciously dosed and products that were there to perform. So,
Well, let me ask this, because I was thinking about this as a potential topic to talk about, but it kind of goes in.
Yeah.
When you were deciding you wanted to make it, was it purely because of a cost thing, or did you feel like there was something lacking in what you were buying or paying for that you felt like you could do
He
better?
had a secret to the industry that they didn't
well,
see.
I thought I knew a lot back then. So the way I was thinking, and it wasn't like to probably sell it per se. It was more so just to make it for myself.
Yeah.
And something that I wanted. I could control what the flavor was. I could control what amounts of caffeine were in it. That was a big thing.
Yeah.
Well, I remember Griffin. You used to do. Make
and
your
beta
own,
alanine.
pre-workout too.
Yeah.
Because I wanted a lot of tingles, and some pre-workouts back then, for some reason, didn't have a lot of tingles back then.
Yeah.
I think is the video still public?
It's still up there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so I actually had watched it before we met,
Yeah.
and you led me to buy some things from bulk supplements and try and make my own pre-workout.
Yeah.
I
Brock
stopped.
was my first athlete.
Yeah. I stopped after
it was
I.
El Cheapo.
El
was the
Cheapo.
pre-workout.
I stopped after I realized I tried to flavor it, and I only gave it really one try, so I kind of just said fuck this shit. But I tried flavoring it with like a crush like packet, similar like y'all did with like the Walmart. But whatever I used, like the way the packet was, it just didn't merge well, and it kind of stuck and clumped with the ingredients.
Yeah.
And it was shit.
Let me talk on that for just a second too, because at the time, I'm trying to think. I would go to. Can I say No Limits? I'll say No
For
Limits.
sure.
I would go there and
Bleep. Say it.
and because that's how I knew Austin, because I tried a scoop of the pineapple All or Nothing, and the game was changed ever since then. Because I remember I used to tell Austin like, "Oh, I've never tried pre-workout before," and the most I'd ever had was the Amino Energy from Optimum, and he was like, "Oh yeah, well give this a hit, see what you think." And I remember like having a crazy workout and then just going home, and I think I was like making a video or something, but I stayed up until like 4 a.m, just like wired.
Yeah.
Time was like not a thing, just 1,000-yard
Just
stare.
loud EDM and just
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, like if every workout can be like that, then I'm gonna transform basically. And I
it's
had
the fourth dimension.
and after that, I can't remember exactly. I think Austin had given me like the full stack at the time. So Overcome, All or Nothing,
Built to Burn.
Gym NO, and then Built to Burn. And so I think all in all that had like 20 grams of citrulline, because in the span of my workout, I would take all 4 products.
Oh.
And so it was crazy. It was like pro hormones.
What have I
basically.
become?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But then a little while after, I can't remember exactly like what had happened, as far as I just think that I had finished the products, but I just didn't really have too much money to be able to buy any more. And so I was trying to see if I could just like, oh, well, I looked up like, oh, citrulline is like a pump thing, and beta alanine is the tingle thing, and caffeine obviously, and creatine too. So I bought the powders from bulk supplements just to see like, can I just pay 50 cents a serving basically? But it was so disgusting. Like, A, they all pool in the bottom of whatever you're drinking. And then B, I would try to flavor it with Mio. And that was just nasty because citrulline is very strong too.
Mhm. Yeah,
and so
bitter
usually I
shit.
wouldn't want to like squirt too much Mio, because Mio's kind of expensive too.
Yeah.
And so I just like do a little bit. And then it's just so like gritty with the beta alanine, so sour and tart with the citrulline. And then I got caffeine capsules because they were just
I remember
200
that,
milligrams. So I would try to take that and then wash it down with the other stuff. And I never felt anything kick in.
Yeah.
And so I got the ingredients, probably used it for like 2 weeks, and then just went
Tricked
back to
me.
Gymflo. Yeah.
But it's like we
So-
talked about with the self-sufficiency. It's like
Yeah.
you can try and do it yourself,
So
and y'all
gotta
did for a
go to
while.
a
Yeah.
master.
But eventually, you gotta level up
Yeah,
as a
and we-
business or a
you know,
person, and
You got to want more. You take risk for sure.
Yeah.
And I will throw it out there, disclaimer, if you want to make your own personal products for yourself or your friends, you're more than happy to go buy bulk ingredients, but do not sell them and do that way. Go to a GMP certified facility by the FDA and get your products made that way.
Oh, versus hand stirring.
Versus making it in the kitchen or anything like that. Yeah.
You never know what ratio will
you
end
can
up
take
in that
risk,
scoop.
like we did, but probably looking back,
you may not live to tell the tale.
you may not live, and or next thing you know, you got people busting your door.
It
And,
would be a lot harder, I
you know.
feel like, to do that in this day and age. I feel like,
yeah,
too.
and I feel like back then we had I remember like a time period where Jake hit me up, or I forgot who hit me up and was like, hey, I think Hanover County is looking at y'all, or like following y'all because y'all are selling steroids or something like that.
Dang.
Yeah, this was like 2014, 2015-ish.
So that's why you grew the beard.
Yeah, incognito. But yeah, like rumor was going around that like Hanover County was like, hey, they're at Gold's Gym giving people all this stuff and selling steroids. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a weird time.
Dang.
It's what you know. What's so funny
Got
too
people on the
is think
inside.
about how much the supplement world has changed in like 6 years. You know,
It's changed a
like
ton.
it is so different now.
And I so wish like we didn't do it the way we did and like we had went balls in back then, but we didn't know. Like
Yeah.
it takes time to grow and learn, and you know all the stuff that we've learned over the past few years. But if we would have started more hardcore, like straight out the gate back then, instead of just making it willy-nilly, not really taking it seriously back then, we could have been way more off than where we are now. But
Let me ask this too: is like what made you decide to start wanting to sell it or give it to people? And like, do you remember the first person that you gave it to or first tub?
Might have been like, I truly don't remember who we might have gave it to, the first one. But I remember it was Gold's Mechanicsville because we went there every day. We lived right down the street from it. No, he wasn't there then. But I do remember wanting to sell it. Oh, it was because it would help restock our own supply. We sold it, would buy our own ingredients. So like it would self-sufficient, like, hey, we don't have to buy our supplements anymore. We could sell a couple tubs. It pays for the ingredients and tubs for ourselves. So
How
it's
far
like
in did you decide to switch out the formula too?
about 2 years, maybe a year and a half of doing it that way.
Oh.
And then we met Joe at No Limits, and because he started carrying us at his shop when we were still hand making it.
Oh, okay.
And
Dang,
yeah.
that's a crazy formula upgrade. Then
we
from the
probably
first
sold I remember looking back probably a little time before we stopped hand making it, and we probably sold over 300, 350, maybe close to 400 tubs handmade.
The origin story.
Yeah. I mean, we could dive more into that later on. And like,
You know
'cause
one
that
thing-
would take a long time to
Yeah.
like talk about.
Well, and you have some videos on YouTube. Check it out.
Yeah. No, I do. Yeah, I forgot. I do.
But one thing that I was thinking about when you were talking about how like you took everything and just felt like superhuman was I'd never really stacked products when I was coming up in the fitness world, and I always thought like, oh, they're just trying to talk me into spending more money, and for the most part that's true. But like since I've been able to stack all or nothing with either Overcome or these different like non-stem pump products and things like that, or like Demo Day, these carbohydrate products, I've really been like, oh, this really isn't just like another filler. It really does take you like, you know, a few percentages up as far as ability, endurance, you know, whatever pump, you know, depending on, could be all those like factors or could be just one. And so really, you know, there is a clear benefit to, you know, eventually, like, you know, we've been planning on coming with a pump product, you know, and when that comes in, like, there's no doubt I'm going to be stacking that with All or Nothing, because All or Nothing on its own, great, love it, feel it, but it really is just like another level if you do have the extra funds to kind of like up that. Because one thing that I've always thought about, and I've told people, is like, sure, it can be like a little expensive from time to time. You might be spending $1, $2 per workout, but if working out is the best, or at least one of the best things in your day, why not make it even better, even more exciting, an even better experience, you know? It's just like when you're driving your car, like that's an experience. Well, buying a nicer car gives you a better experience every day.
For sure.
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes a certain experience is worth the investment.
Yeah, and that's what supplements are.
Yeah.
There's hard work, consistency, and some discipline, and then
Supplements
the
way
supplements
down,
fill in the
but
gap.
they fill in the gaps. Yeah.
Like that's like if those are covered, and your goal is to become better, be in here, have a good workout, be your optimal.
Yeah.
Then those obviously fill in the gap and, you know, give you that extra push, that extra endurance, that extra focus, whatever.
Yeah. When you're not feeling it, when you're tired, whatever.
If you have piss poor work ethic, All or Nothing.
That's right.
Yeah. Are you a scrawny 130-pound kid?
Yeah.
All or Nothing will make you 200 pounds shredded.
I'm Austin Page, and I approve this message.
Yup.
Is that all your questions?
Yeah, that was all I got. And one last thing I wanted to chime in on real quick is an ingredient that we use called glycerol. Wanted to break that down real quick. I get questions, and not often, but sometimes people get concerned or confused about it and what it does to some pre-workouts. You'll find it a lot in pre-workouts or pump products, but it's a form of glycerol. And glycerol is an ingredient that's very hygroscopic, so it's very moisture sensitive. If there's any moisture in the air, or if it's in your car, or if it's in a place that you wouldn't want to be, pretty much, temperature-wise, it's going to clump. It's going to absorb moisture from the outside air, regardless if it's in a tub and has those moisture packs. Yeah, it's very sensitive to moisture. So when you see a product that has either the trademark forms of glycerol called Glycer Pump or Hydromax, or there's one other one.
It used to be Glycer Size, right?
Yeah. And those will potentially sometimes have a little clumpiness to them. And it's the longer they sit, obviously, the more clumpy they might get. That does not mean it affects the ingredients, its performance, or its integrity of the product, like in general. So make sure when you do see that, take note of what ingredients are in there. If glycerol, any form of glycerol is in the product at all, more than likely that's causing the clumping, and it's just going to be fine. You take a scoop, put it in water, dissolves right away. Just wanted to clear the air on that, because I know a lot of people, not just recently, but just in general, I think people get confused about that. And they're like, oh, the product's shit. And no, it's just, it has good quality ingredients in there. That's to help, pump.
Yeah, not everything should be like extremely powderized. And even like some products that I notice are like sugar and like, what do you call it, grainy as far as like, the powder.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't like mix that well, or like they kind of, like if I dome it, it like goes up my nose immediately. Like once water hits, like it's kind of like weird in that way. So, yeah.
So I had 2 questions. One was, if you could train with any athlete in the world, not bodybuilder, who would it be?
I hate to say it.
He's going to say Goggins.
I couldn't hang, dude.
I hate to say it, but not to hate to say it, but
Stone Cold.
He's changed. Well, that would be cool, but probably not my top pick right off the bat. But he's changed recently in my eyes, especially with his drink and stuff. But The Rock, yeah.
Yeah, The Rock is now... Well, I don't want to say
That's
that.
what I'm saying. And plus, like, his reputation of his energy drink sucking dick. Like,
I'd rather weight train with The Rock, but if it comes to running, I'd like to run with Cameron Haynes.
Well, let me ask you this, though. We can do a weight training related person, but what if there was another athlete that was maybe you were just training in their own field? What do you think you would pick? Like if it was a surfer or a climber or, something else in the Olympics, snowboarder, something like that.
Well, unfortunately, I don't follow much anything else besides...
You don't follow snowboard?
Fighter?
Yeah, I mean...
You don't want to go with Mike Tyson and have him just be like, all right,
dude,
duck.
Mike would pound your head.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I don't know.
Go out to the range.
Off the top of my head, like, I'm not really... I don't get, like, excited thinking about other training.
Or do you have an answer to that question?
Yeah. I would say... I think Mike Tyson or somebody like that would be cool to train with, because I would just like to figure out like what that mentality is like. Or like a Kobe Bryant, I feel like would be cool too, of just really chasing that like perfection and kind of stepping outside yourself to get to that point too a little bit.
I think that would take years to, like, even like being, you'd have
sit
to be
in for an hour,
like re-raised.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I feel like both, especially Mike Tyson, was like raised in that mentality, like from a young age. Auto.
Well, he had a bit of like raw ability,
hypnotized,
and a bit of like anger and like ferocity about him. That, like, when he kind of calmed down post boxing, he wasn't quite the same guy. But when he was kind of training for this next, charity fighter exhibition, he kind of got back into that like killer mindset. But I say, as far as like work ethic, Kobe would be like the perfect example, because he's someone that would just drill, first one in, last one out, like consecutively. So similar concept with both of them, both like all-time greats in their field, but kind of coming from different directions.
And then I would also say maybe just unrelated, but like a good climber, like Chris Sharma or Alex Honnold or somebody like that, because I feel like it would be a lot of fun to just, go out to one of their favorite places to climb and then just kind of sit back and learn, because it's really cool. I forget sometimes, I went the other week, but forget how much climbing is such a full body kind of mind, body puzzle, and how much also like breath work is involved too, because I feel like it would be really cool to just... you kind of see the route, but then when you're on there, it's a different ball game, and it's fun to kind of feel like, okay, I have to kind of hold my breath or take a deep breath, try to maneuver, and then breathe out and shift and stuff too.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to kind of get like a nice, almost like a yoga kind of flow to it too, but get a good, I don't know, a good sense of satisfaction getting to the top too.
Yeah.
So it would be a lot of fun to do that too.
For sure.
And then other question. Oh, did you have one, Brian?
No.
Oh, okay. If you could only have one energy drink flavor the rest of your life, what would it be?
White Monster.
What?
Ooh. You know what?
Yeah.
I was gonna go some kind of citrus flavor, but I think you're right. White Monster.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
The lemon heads rain gets down. The orange would get old to me because of the sweet vanilla flavor to it. But yeah, White Monster is pretty consistent. I don't even know what I'd call it flavor wise. I know it's supposed to be like a grapefruit, but
I'm not saying like I wouldn't get tired of it, but that's if I had to pick one to like die with. That's gonna be
Yeah, I'm trying to think really as far as like if there's one that I kind of just reach for. I know at Gold's, pretty much had a Star Blast bang every day, and that kind of like. It's different because I sometimes feel like there are great flavors, but there are flavors that you get burnt out of. And then there's some flavors that are good, but you can have them every day and you don't get tired of them too. So I would say maybe the Star Blast, and then maybe, I don't know. It's hard to think on the spot, but maybe something sour. I always feel like sour at least like is every sip is kind of refreshing in that way too.
Yeah.
But
good show.
But yeah.
Yeah. Should have an Overcome label for a second flavor. Maybe today, maybe not. Maybe fuck myself.
Fuck you. Yeah.
But looking forward to that so I can get the ball rolling. So keep your eyes peeled for a restock of Overcome homemade lemonade. Maybe by the end of this month. Maybe not. Again, don't need to finish that one. You can finish it on there. Yeah. But probably 4 weeks, maybe less. But thank y'all for the support for Real with Cherry Freeze. A ton have moved out. Hopefully y'all been enjoying it. And keep up with Gymflo on social media. We're going to be doing a contest here soon. Just make sure you're staying up with the notifications because we're going to be giving away free pre-workout within a week. So just make sure you're keeping your eyes peeled on that. Make sure you sign up for the Gymflo newsletter because we'll also post it on that. Follow us on social media, description below. And make sure you're dropping us questions every Sunday, the day before the show so we can answer them live on the All or Nothing Show. We're out
That's
here,
all, folks.
Yep, that's all, folks.